Hey everyone, Jeremy here. It is Tuesday night and we're going to create some art. It's going to be awesome. It is Tuesday night. We're 1 week into the new year. Still super motivated, ready to create some art. So tonight I thought I would do something a little bit different. Um, Occasionally throughout the last year, I was trying to do more, I don't know, more trying to get outside of just doing pets. I do like a lot of animals. There we go. You can see, and you can just look at my channel and you can see like I do a ton of animals. So I'm trying to get outside my comfort zone and do some more things that people draw. And one of them is human anatomy, and that includes like eyes and so on. So I've been really trying to practice doing eyes, just because like I really want to do scaled up pictures of people, where you have to like really get in there and get some of those details in there. So I thought I'd do that. Most of the ones I've done so far were like in black and white and everything. So I thought I'd try to do some colored pictures with pastels. So if that sounds cool to you, hopefully you'll have fun just hanging out with me in the chat. I am. I'm very chatty today. I've had a lot of coffee, if you can't tell. But anyway, I'm gonna jump right in. Hopefully the audio is better than the last time. I know that some people were talking about how it was a little bit quiet the last time. I cranked it up a little bit. Hopefully it's not too much. But anyway, just hang out in the chat with me if you want to. If not, I'm just going to draw some pictures. So I'm going to start with kind of like a gray, just to kind of give myself a little bit of a, as you can see, I've kind of got it blocked in. I kind of want like a very large eyeball here so I have some room to work with. The thing with pastels is it is kind of tough to do, like really, really small details. Or I found some other people, they might be better at that than me. But so I wanted to give myself plenty of room to work with. And I did, just a kind of like housekeeping notes, housekeeping notes. I did treat this paper with some clear gesso. I've talked about this product before. This kind of gives you this sandpaper effect, so that your pastels kind of get into the sand of the or the tooth of the paper. Without it, you could still probably do fine, but you're kind of be limited on the amount of like layers that you can put in there. So I just want to kind of quickly get some of this stuff in. You guys have seen enough of these, I'm sure, unless you're new to the channel, where there's kind of like an ugly phase to these pastel pictures. They kind of look rough until they don't, but that's okay. I just kind of want to get myself a base color to work with. And in this case, I want it to be kind of gray so that I can keep the colors in this kind of Rome Dog's like I'm doing. No, you're not. Rome Dog's a mainstay here. In fact, I've had him on my channel a couple of times, which is kind of cool. We like Rome Dog around here. So I'm also kind of trying to cheat. I'm trying to outline some of this stuff. I know that the eye is going to be here. I know that this is going to be like the space above the eye. The eyebrow will be right here. So I'm kind of trying to figure out where things are as I'm doing this. I already kind of outlined some stuff here, but many of the features, I have no idea where they're going in until I actually put them in. Hey, we got Just Dave in the house too, and we got Kid. Nice. Oh, how much snow did we end up with? Yeah, I forgot to mention that at the outset. I ended up with like a foot of snow. And that's unusual for this area. This area, we might get like 3 inches of snow, like in the deep of winter. We don't usually get a foot of snow. This is nuts. And I've been having fun with it. Me and my dad, we went out and I went sledding. Yeah, a whole foot. Like I went out and measured it. It's maybe like 11 inches. Jeff Dave wouldn't know it. Like, what's a foot in metrics? I have no idea. I can't do that kind of conversion. But yeah, it's a lot. And I don't think that we're the only ones that got that. Like most of my relatives and stuff, they've been chiming in talking about how they got snow as well. I'm sure, Kid, down where you're at, you probably got some snow out there. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's kind of weird though, because like I'm pretty sure it was like 60 degrees out just like a week ago or 2 weeks ago or something like that. So it's a little off, but the weather over the last couple of years has just been like really strange. Like that whole climate change thing. I don't know if you like if you want to think it's a hoax, that's on you. But I do not like it has been weird weather like for years. All right, so I got that in there. Um, I think I kind of want to introduce some flesh tones, and I want to kind of go muted on the flesh tones at first. So I don't really want this to be all flesh tones. I kind of want to use these cool colors. You can see my palette here. I want to use like some blues and purples and stuff, mostly cool colors, to kind of match the weather outside. But, there are some flesh tones in here as well. And I think I can match them pretty closely. I don't want to lose where my eye is in doing these like layers over it, so I have to be conscious of that. Here in a minute, I might actually come in and start highlighting or start outlining that a little bit better with some black, maybe. You didn't get it? Yeah, you were supposed to get 3 inches with the next one on Friday. Um, well, good luck. I know that down south, like when it snows, like I mean, it can snow like an inch or something, and people panic. Um, I used to live in Georgia, so I know how that goes. But yeah, um, in fact, like when I was a kid in Georgia for like I don't know 4 or 5 years, and I don't think we ever got any kind of snow. And like in recent years, it's been kind of snowing down there as well. I think maybe we got like snow flurries once or twice. It wasn't actual snow, or if like there was any snow, it didn't really stick. But yeah, a foot of snow around here. We went to the park and we tried to do sledding. We have one of those old wooden, I guess they're called toboggans sleds, and we were out there doing that. And we, so we were doing it normally, like people should at first, and then I started noticing that like the back of his truck has this like trailer hitch on the back, and I'm like, what if we just attach the toboggan to that? So then I started basically surfing on it, which is probably not the safest thing to do. So don't practice this at home, kids. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I might build a snowman. I don't know. There's still plenty of snow out there. It's not going to get any warm. So like the snow that's out there is out there for like the rest of this week. It's not supposed to get warm enough for it to melt until like Sunday. So I might go out. It'll be a little crusty, but I might go out and build like a snowman tomorrow. I'm just a kid when it snows. Like I love it when it snows. So trying to get some of these colors in here in a like a strategic way, I guess. I'm going to start with some background color here. This will be a little bit tough because kind of tight space. I don't want to lose where my iris is. Sorry about my squeaky chair. I got to get some oil on that. These things always look rough, but then they always end up looking really good. Kind of want to leave some space for some highlights here. I don't want to cover that up. Give myself an idea of where that might be. So even though this is all going to be like black, I still kind of want to point out where that is. Get a line down here. This is how big the eye is. I really wanted to go pretty big on this just so that I can get some interesting visual aspects in there, I think. Build a snow bottle of bourbon. That'd be a cool idea. So, man, I took a hit this week on the whole bourbon thing. Apparently, there was some study where they said this stuff causes cancer. That's not good. I might have to stop drinking my bourbon. Thankfully, I don't drink a ton of it. I only drink it mostly on these shows and like in social situations. But yeah, I heard about that. They want to put warning labels on. I mean, everybody already knows alcohol is not good for you. It's not the best. Um, like there are some younger kids who watch the show. I don't recommend to any of you guys to start drinking alcohol. Don't tell your parents that Jeremy said it was good. Because it's probably not. I just do it because the show is supposed to be like about relaxing and having fun and stuff. But yeah, they apparently it's not good for you. Not good for you at all. So that's going to be the base of the eye. Obviously, it's going to be a blue eye. At this point, it's nice to smear this stuff. In case you're wondering why I'm like blending so early, I like to give it this nice blended kind of blurred look to it, so that then I can start building on top of that. So, for example, I kind of want it to be a little bit purple around the eyelid. I don't know. This is a girl's eye, but I'm not sure that she's wearing like eyeliner or anything like that. I just think it's just how I'm doing the colors that I kind of want. I want these cool colors to kind of like frame the eye. So I'm gonna have some purple come through here, and then the top of the eyelid, or the pinch point, I guess I would call it. I don't know what these things are actually called, but kind of want to outline that in purple as well. And again, I don't want this to be super hard line. I kind of want to blend it out. Everything needs to be soft at first, and then as I build up layers, I want the details to kind of be more focused. But yeah, so like if anybody's out there in the viewing area and you got a ton of snow and you're still snowed in. So I live at the bottom of a hill, and I thought I was kind of snowed in for the entire week. I thought I couldn't get out, but then today I got, redneck, just up the hill and stuff, and I made it out. So I'm not trapped here. But like if there is anybody out there in the world that is trapped, my heart goes out to you, because I know how that can be. I checked in with my neighbor today just to make sure that he's doing okay. My neighbor, I don't think they watch this channel, but in case they do, uh, hey Joe. he's a he's an older gentleman. Him and his wife and stuff are up there in years, so I like to check in on them every now and then. And I do encourage that. So like if you guys know older people who are like in bad weather or something like that, it affects older people a little bit more than younger people. So I encourage you to check in on your fellow man, see how they're doing. Once I realized that I can get my car out and get to the store, then I thought, well, let me go check on them, see if they need anything from the store and stuff. Went out and got some soups. I'm all wintered in. I love this weather. Like, I don't know. Some people are like, first off, there's some people out there with power, without power and stuff like that. So, like, I don't want to like minimize their situation. Like, I don't want to sit there and say, oh, it's the best thing ever and stuff when they're out there struggling. I'm just saying that like I enjoy this kind of weather. Trying to kind of outline this little area underneath the eye. So there's the eyelids, and then the bottom eyelid is going to be a little bit fat on this. I need to put some color in there actually. But underneath, this is basically where the bottom eyelids, eyelashes, are gonna go. I can't talk today. I really can't. Um, Had a lot of coffee, been drinking that bourbon, and it's just not conducive to talk. But yeah, get some of that goodness in there. Um, there was like light pink. Kind of want, yeah. Let me go with this. Not really the color. No, I want to go with this instead. It's tough. These aren't the exact colors I wanted to go with, but I'm gonna put them in here anyway because I wanted some pink. Yeah, that's probably too pink. Oh well, I can maybe soften it up. I kind of want to outline that eye so that I can create that little border there. Anyway, so hopefully you guys aren't affected too much by the weather. Kid, sounds like on Friday you might be a little snowed in. I hope not. But yeah, my heart goes out to all of you guys. And if you are like me and you do enjoy this kind of weather, then hopefully you're having as much fun as I am, because I mean, I've got work to do and stuff like that, like actual things. But when I'm not, I'm out there living it up. I got some video. I should post it, even though it has nothing to do with art, of me riding that sled. It was so much fun. I don't know, but I don't think I can post video to my community tab, which seems like a design flaw on a video platform. Maybe I have to post a short and then put it there, but it has nothing to do with art, so I don't know if I should do that or not. All right, let's see. Let's try to get some features in here. A brown pencil somewhere. Maybe I didn't grab a brown pencil. Let me go and grab one now. Sorry if I have to reach across the page. I don't like doing that. I love the snow as long as I don't have to get out in it. Yeah, and like I'm just enjoying it now because it's fresh. The thing about snow is like it is like the first snowfall of the year, which this is actually our first major snowfall. I don't think it's snowed at all since this year, besides this in this area. But the first snowfall, that's the fun one. Like it's like, oh, snow's out there, it's so pretty and stuff like that, which it is. I need to go find some horses in the snow to take some pictures to draw. Um, but you go off and you enjoy that. But then as the week goes on, like we're in this like what three days now, you start getting that cabin fever, and then it's not so fun. And then it's like, especially if like if we were to, I don't think there's any snow in the forecast, but if we were to get hit with another snowfall and it's snow upon snow, um, yeah, okay, yeah, just Dave, I can link to it. It's a fun video. I don't know. I'll probably post it. I like playing in the snow and I like sharing with people, so I'll probably do that. But yeah, so like when it's fresh and when it's fresh and pretty and all that stuff, it's like yeah, I really enjoy the snow. And then like the days turn into like a week or something like that, and maybe you get more snowfall on top of the snowfall that you've already gotten. It's like when will it stop? Because I used to live in Ohio, and that's what it was in Ohio. It's not so bad here in Kentucky. It comes and goes, but like a little bit purple in this eye. This is a great thing about pastels. So like they really blend well together. So like I got blue in there. I don't want it to just be blue. I want to get some purples in there as well. And then, they kind of just all go together. And you can like layer them, you can blend them in together. It's great. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna let me get this stuff out of my way. I'm gonna go ahead and do like a dark edge here. I'm not really wanting to put a lot of detail into the eye just yet. But I do want to kind of create more of like a border here. So you can kind of see how this stuff is supposed to work. I'm not really putting in like eyelashes or anything like that at this point. This is just the shadow on the underside of the eyelid. Of course, after I do this, I'm going to want to do like a dog eye and a cat eye. You guys know how it is. I get stuck on things sometimes. And I end up doing a whole series of the same thing over and over. But no, I wanted to get this, like I said, a lot of artists, they do try to do the same thing and perfect what they're doing and stuff like that. And I respect that. And that's probably like if you're a young artist and you're looking for advice, that's probably good advice is, practice something until you've mastered it and then move on to other things. But that's just not me. I like to try a bunch of different things. Um, all at once. So like, even though I do a lot of animal pictures, I don't want just do animal pictures. I want to get good at drawing in general, which means I have to tackle a bunch of different things. That's why some people go to art school, but I didn't go to art school, so basically I have to teach myself. It's so hard to get like a circle, like a round circle. I'm gonna give you guys some homework. I want to see you guys try to draw a circle. Like no cheating either. Like I could probably take like a bottle cap and put it down and just try to kind of trace it and stuff. But like, man, it's so hard to just draw a circle. I think I saw in like a movie once, like somebody went to art school and that's actually what they taught them to do. Like they had them practice drawing circles. Like I should do that. This is charcoal, by the way. You can use charcoal. Like my black pastel pencil is is not sharp right now, so like I didn't even bother with it. But you can use charcoal with pastel, and it works out. Um, where am I? I'll just use this up here. I'm gonna blend that out. Anyway, try drawing a perfect circle. That's not even a perfect circle. Man, that's rough. That's okay. But now I can kind of continue. This up here is shadow from the eyelid. These are not eyelashes or any of that jazz. Just getting in some shadow. Just getting things started. We're still really early on this, by the way. You guys know how it goes. I'm just gonna mention it just because like I have really, really been enjoying it. So like I mentioned this before, but if you guys haven't started watching Skeleton Crew, which is the new Star Wars show on Disney, it's really good. I am enjoying it. The kids on it, it's basically like Goonies in space. That's not something I said. That's like something somebody else said, and I completely agree with it. There's some scenes that are like basically straight up out of Goonies. Like Steven Spielberg should sue Disney over it because it's like basically lifted from Goonies. Um, but that doesn't really take away from it. It's still really good. So I know that Disney, rightfully so, in my opinion, has had some criticism from some misses and stuff over the past couple of years and stuff. This is one of their this is one of their successes, in my opinion. Just laying the groundwork for some eyelashes here, which I will draw here in a moment. Looking pretty good. Oh, for those of you who are Force Fin fans, like you probably already heard this, but I'll just mention in case you haven't. Apparently, the Netflix documentary on Force Fin is imminent. Um, so it may be here as early as March. It's not official yet. It's like not in the Netflix lineup. Um, but apparently somebody talked to one of the producers, or I think they're a producer, somebody in the know, and they were saying either like a March or a April timeline on that. So that's pretty exciting. I know some of the people who are going to be in it, which is cool. Um, you know, I think they're all good people and stuff. Like, some of them probably get some criticism and stuff and all that. I mean, who doesn't these days? But no, they seem like nice people and stuff like that. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. Um, it's a mixed bag. Some people in the community, they want like answers about like where that treasure was hidden and things like that, stuff that I don't think they're going to get out of this documentary. But I've always enjoyed documentaries about the Force Fin treasure hunt, or just treasure hunts in general. Um, like Expedition Unknown has had a few episodes on the Force Fin thing, and those were pretty cool. Kid says, "I hope it will be true to all the facts of the chase." Yeah, so like, I mean, that's the interesting thing, right? So like, we all have our own experiences that we had with the treasure hunt. So for my experience with the treasure hunt, probably isn't the same as yours, and vice versa. For me, like nowadays, I feel like people have added on to the treasure hunt. Where for me, it was a fun time out looking for treasure out in the Rocky Mountains and stuff. It was basically a Goonies adventure for me. Um, but then, like for some people, they're fascinated that he was. It turns out he was in the CIA, and they add on some like spy mysteries to it. Some people think he was DB Cooper. You know, so there's that aspect to it. So people add their own things onto it. For me, it was just a fun time looking for treasure out in the woods and stuff. So I mean, for me, for them to capture that aspect of the chase, it's not that hard. They can have they could have some other searchers or something out there doing their thing and stuff. And to me, that'll kind of like feel familiar. But yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to satisfy everybody's wishes. Because I mean, I just think the thing was so different to everybody that, and then some people have like demands, like they demand to know the answers and stuff like that. So like, I don't think those people are going to be too happy because I don't think they're going to get any. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh, that kid thinks he was DB Cooper as well. There you go. I know that Ben is like a super proponent of that. I mean, who knows? They're the right age. So for those who have no idea what we're talking about, so like there is a rumor that Forrest Fenn, the guy who hid the treasure out in the Rocky Mountains, was in fact none other than DB Cooper, the guy who did the skyjacking back in the 1970s. And there's some let's just say there's evidence. I'm not going to say there's good evidence. I'm not going to say there's bad evidence. I'm not going to say any of that. I'm just going to say there's reasons that people believe these things, and you know, I can't sit there and say that like there's not. I mean, there like I've heard Ben talk about it. Ben and Alan are the two people who I think are probably the biggest champions of it. And I've heard them talk, and some other people who have championed the idea and stuff like that. And they've got some interesting points and stuff. The family doesn't deny it. The family has kind of leaned into it a little bit, especially his grandson, Shiloh, for those who know. And I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like that seems a bit out there, but who knows? Strange things happen. I can't say that it's. There's been a lot of bizarre ideas in this in this chase, as they call it. So I would not say that is the bizarrest idea. It's not the most bizarre idea that has been attributed to Forrest Fenn. Forrest Fenn's a legend, right? So like he's the whole Forrest Fenn thing is like if you ever imagine any kind of American legend of any type, Paul Bunyan, Casey Jones, any of those stories and stuff like that. Forrest Fenn's right up there. P.T. Barnum, great example of somebody who was like more than man. Like there's a story attached to him that is probably like half true, and you know, um, and it's just like stuff that's half true, half not, just kind of piled on top. All of these things. That is the Forrest Fenn story. The guy was 90 when he passed away, and he lived at a great period in American history where you know probably the type of last time period where you really could reach legend status. Well, he did. So is this the Forrest Fenn channel now? But yeah, you're welcome to talk about it. I mean, we talk about all kinds of things on this channel. So if you want to chat about Forrest Fenn, that's totally fine. I know that a lot of the people who watch my show, they are from the Forrest Fenn community, so bound to come up sometimes. But yeah, the Netflix documentary is like right around the corner. So apparently, like it might still get squashed. And there's all kinds of reasons why it may not air, but Hollywood and all that. But it does seem like it's coming out soon, so that's pretty exciting. Forrest is an ace, legend. Yeah, see all the Forrest Fenn people coming out of the woodwork. You mentioned Forrest Fenn, people start showing up talking about Forrest Fenn. Um, but like his treasure hunt ended like 5 years ago, and it still has captured people's imaginations and so on. I mean, the guy truly is a legend. And I admire the guy. I look up to him and stuff like that. I just mentioned today, like when somebody was talking about his legacy is I'm not that young of a person anymore. I find it really really interesting that Forrest Fenn did just as much or more after the age of 40 than he ever did before. So like he was a fighter pilot in the Vietnam War, but then he had a second career as like an art gallery owner in Santa Fe, selling basically the preeminent guy for Southwest American art in the 1980s, and that whole second career he started after he was my age, um, and I find that super inspiring because, like, sometimes you get stuck in a rut and you're like, oh man, I'm too old to start something new. No, you're never too old. That guy had what, 3, 4 careers in his life and stuff. I think that's amazing. So I don't know, just little things like that. I mean, obviously that's not the main reason people look up to the guy and stuff. I just find things like that super inspiring. I mean, most people were about the treasure hunt. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, it captured people's imagination far more than the other aspects of his life and everything. But for me, I just think he was a cool guy. Um, I often said, like, when I'm that age, I would love to live the life that he did. Um, people looked up to him, like people my age looked up to him as like a surrogate grandfather, and that makes a lot of sense. So. Um, I think someone from airport staff wrote the name on the ticket, but could be mistaken. Oh, the DB Cooper thing? Yeah. Yeah, some people think he was DB Cooper, which, I mean, I can't, like, I'm not here to debate that. I'm not here to say that that's right or wrong and stuff. In fact, if I did, I'm sure that I'll get a DM from Ben saying, "I saw your live stream and you're full of shit." And he totally was DB Cooper for X reason, and you know, I'm not here to I'm not here to start all that. Plus, for all I know, he was. So I kind of want the upper side of it to really be kind of like catching the purple here. So I want to do all of this before I put down the eyelashes. You might be looking at this like, oh man, kind of weird not having eyelashes and stuff. I mean, some people pluck their eyebrows, eyelashes and stuff, but no, it's because I want to get all this stuff, this underlayment down. Underlayment? Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. Underlayers down before I put in the eyelashes over it. So you kind of build up these layers, and I'm trying not to shy away from color on this. Like most of my drawings and stuff are black and white or at least monotone, and every now and then I get the itch to really kind of explore color a little bit more. So that's kind of what I'm doing here, in addition to drawing an eye and trying to get the eye features in there. You can maybe hear that scratchy noise from the sandpaper or sanded paper. Oh, okay, yeah. So, kid, I mean, I can't argue against that. I really can't. I haven't read Ha 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 myself. So, for those who don't know, I feel like I have to explain everything for those who don't follow all the stuff that you guys follow. So, um, Forrest Fenn did a treasure hunt, and he wrote a book to get people to go out there and look for the treasure. So, that's what he's known for, right? So people ended up discovering. I don't know who first found it. I think it was Stephanie, maybe Mindy, maybe the two of them together. But somebody noticed that there was another book out there that was a treasure hunt way back in the day, like I think back in the 1980s or something like that. And it was very similar to Forrest Finn's treasure hunt, and it was very very strange that there were so many similarities between the two treasure hunts. And I won't go into detail, but there were some things that like I said, I can't argue against. Like, it's like they were kind of very similar. And then people started noticing, well, Forrest Fenn, he's a pilot and stuff, and they think DB Cooper was a pilot or had military training, and Forrest Fenn had military training, and you know Forrest Fenn was available on the date that this happened, and Forrest Fenn's the right age, and they started, noticing all these like similarities, and it's like, what are the odds? So anyway, there was this treasure hunt book, supposedly written by DB Cooper, where you could find the $200,000 in loot, and that's what I should probably start with that, but they start noticing these like similarities, and they start wondering like, is this guy who claims to be DB Cooper and wrote a treasure hunting book? Is that the same guy as Forrest Fenn? Like, who knows? Um, And like I said, there's not, I'm not in the position to argue against it. I don't know. I think it's kind of fascinating. I think Alan and Ben, they're smart dudes and they believe it and they spend more time with it. So, Kid believes it. So, who might argue? Um, but I mean, who knows? I haven't read the book, but I did catch. I didn't watch all of like Ben reading it. Like Ben spent what five hours or something like that or more reading it off on YouTube. Um, that's a Treasure Warriors channel in case you guys are curious. Um, but yeah, the parts that I heard and the things that they've talked about and stuff like that, good case for it. Pick it up with the jury. I think you might win that case. I don't know, but I don't know. I think it would be. I think it would be wild if Forrest Fenn turned out to be DB Cooper. I think that would be really really cool. So um, I think it's cool. I don't know if it's true, but I think it's cool. But yeah, that's the reason why people look at those that treasure hunt that supposedly was by DB Cooper back in the 1980s, and they look at Forrest Fenn and they're like, wow, this could work. And yeah, I think that would be awesome. I really do. I don't think they're going to go into all of that in the in the Netflix documentary. I think the Netflix they might mention. Oh, and also some people think he might be DB Cooper because they did that with the X Marks the Spot podcast. I don't know if you guys remember. So it's been put out there. It's not like it's not like it's never been mentioned before that some people think that Forrest Fenn was DB Cooper. I don't think they're going to spend a lot of time on that in the Netflix series. I think the Netflix series is probably going to just basically be about the treasure hunt itself. They're probably going to get into like, well, who is Forrest Fenn? Why should you care? Why are we doing a documentary? Things like that for people who really have no idea. But I think it's mostly going to focus on like the treasure hunt. Probably, and I know that a lot of people don't want to hear this, but it's probably going to focus on the searchers that you've heard of before that have been in documentaries before, and it's probably just going to follow them around, get as they get up to misadventures and stuff like that. There was um there was a short 30-minute documentary for the New Yorker that had these guys in it, the same people that's going to be in this documentary, and that's all it really was. It was just basically talking about the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt. So like if you expand that out to like however long this is going to be, probably like three episodes probably. That's probably all you're going to get. Like if you're expecting a lot out of this, you're probably going to be disappointed. That's my take on it. I'm not in like any position where I would know any any more than anybody else. It's just the way I think it's going to be. I think it's exciting. I enjoyed every other thing that they've ever done on Force Fin. I enjoyed the 48 Hours one they did. I enjoyed the Expedition Unknown. It's all cool to me. Um, I describe myself as like a super fan of the Force Fin treasure hunt. So like any content, especially now that the treasure hunt's over, it's been a while since there's been any serious talk about the Force Fin treasure hunt in the news. I'm just looking forward to it. And yes, kid, I think it would be wild if it turns out that like that Forrest Fenn was DB Cooper, that they have evidence for that, because that's a whole nother challenge. Yeah, the Josh Gates one was really good. I enjoyed that. There was an update just recently where he talked about how it was found in Yellowstone. If you haven't seen that, um, if you're curious about that, and I can look it up for you. But um, yeah, I think it would be wild if it does turn out to be DB Cooper. But then that's a whole nother ball of wax. So like if you think the Force Fin community is crazy, which I do, I think we're all crazy. Um, the uh, the DB Cooper community is super crazy. So like if you've got a candidate that you think might be DB Cooper, you really have to vet that a lot. And if you don't, these people are going to send you through the ringer. So like, if you think that Forrest Fenn is DB Cooper, you better be really you better have evidence for it, and you better be prepared to justify that claim, or else they're going to they're going to go hard on you really, because those guys are more nuts than Forrest Fenn people. That's what I've seen. You know, it's like those guys. Well, they've been at it longer. So, like, they've been at it since the 1980s, coming with theories and so on regarding DB Cooper. I think that would be kind of cool. Um, I'm a little on the young side where DB Cooper wasn't a big thing. Um, it's not like I lived through it in the regular news cycle, but I grew up. The first time I ever heard of DB Cooper was on Unsolved Mysteries. I used to watch that all the time when I was a kid, and I loved that show. And yeah, Unsolved Mysteries first introduced me to DB Cooper, and I've kind of been fascinated by it. It's like, it's not the only thing that I care about. It's not like the major story from growing up that I thought was fascinating or anything like that. But who doesn't like a good skyjacking? This was like way back in the day too. So like, watch a document. So like, even if you like, it's certainly if you've never heard of DB Cooper and you like have no idea what we're talking about, watch a documentary on it. It's a fascinating story. And even if you're only mildly like interested, watch one of the more recent documentaries. Um, they kind of like really go into like some detail and stuff on who all it could be. The one I watched that I enjoyed, you know, just saying this is probably going to get me like people are going to get upset with it because everybody has their own favorite things, But for me, I enjoyed the HBO one, and I think they had four different potential suspects who could have been DB Cooper. And they kind of went through the pluses and minuses of each suspect, I guess. Um, I thought that was kind of cool. I actually think that would be a cool format for like a Forrest Fenn documentary because like there is some controversy to it. There are people out there who still think there's people out there who think that the treasure's still out there waiting for people. They think that the person who supposedly found it was hired. Isn't like the true solver or whatever. There's like a lot of controversy. So like I think a really cool documentary about Forrest Fenn would be one that kind of covers those types of conspiracies. Um, I mean conspiracies in a loving way. I like conspiracies; they're fun. Um, so I think it would be kind of cool if they covered that. And there's a nice template for that. I think there was a Netflix documentary. It was a three-parter, like this one's supposed to be, where they covered the Malaysian jetliner that disappeared. And there's a lot of theories, conspiracy theories, and so on surrounding that. Um, and I think that would be like a cool template because it kind of left it on like a cliffhanger about like, well, what really happened. They presented the mainstream idea that the plane crashed and that it ended up in the ocean and pieces of it surfaced and it's kind of straightforward. But then there's also like some mystery to it, and they kind of presented all the different stories, and ultimately they let you choose what you prefer. And I think that would be a good format for Force Fin stuff because people people really do have their own ideas. Um, I have my ideas, and I'm ashamed to admit my ideas are pretty mundane. I think that you know Forrest Finn's treasure was just sitting out there in the woods, and somebody found it just as advertised, and there's not like a lot of conspiracy to it, not like a lot of mystery and stuff like that. But I also respect some of these other, and not only respect, but I find them interesting. I find some of these other ideas and interesting, and to me, they'd have to be like demonstrated a little bit more than they have been. It's one thing just to say something might have happened. Another thing is to like back it up with like actual evidence and stuff like that. But um, it's still interesting. I still have like kind of an open mind. I do like a good what if. What if it was this way? Like what if Forrest was DB Cooper? I think that's fascinating. It's just fascinating to think about. Anyway, I don't want to like dwell on it, but like the documentary is set to maybe come out like here in 2 months and stuff, and people have been waiting on it for a while. So I think it's interesting to talk about. So, what do you guys think of the eye so far? Is it looking pretty good? How are we doing on time? Yeah, we're only like 15 minutes into it, and it's already starting to look really realistic. So I got to get some eyebrows in there. Got to get the eyelashes, and I think I do want to kind of clean up this eye a little bit, but I want to at least get the basics in there. All right, so this is the tough part. This is where I screw up my picture by coming in pretty blue color. Thank you, kid. I appreciate that. So this is where I screw up my picture by coming in here and like and putting stuff in that I can't erase. So if there's one piece of advice I give to people who draw is get over the eraser as quick as possible, and you know the quicker you can get away from using the eraser to fix mistakes, the better off you're going to be. So if you can get to a point where you're using the eraser as a tool to draw with, you know, as something that actually makes marks, that's what I recommend. I think the eraser is good for that. As far as like fixing mistakes, you have to get over using it to fix mistakes because like you're going to be limited to just basically working with graphite. You know, you can't fix mistakes in pen with an eraser. You can't fix mistakes in this with an eraser. Now, I can use an eraser to lift up some of this stuff, make some changes and everything, but not really. I'm not going to be able to like completely erase things. So you have to just kind of like just kind of close your eyes and hope for the best that your marks are going to look halfway decent and that you won't have to come back and erase them. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Nomadic says, I heard it was in 6 to 9 months for like for the Netflix thing to come out. No, I hope not. I know Shiloh is Force Finn's grandson, by the way, for those who have no idea what we're talking about. Um, he seems to want to continue Force Finn's legacy of like keeping the mystery going. It's unclear what he wants to do. Maybe another treasure hunt, maybe just kind of tell stories and stuff of his grandfather's life. It's not very clear. It may be that like you know he's kind of keeping mum because he's under like an NDA or um, you know he doesn't want to spill the beans or who knows. But he has been hinting at least that he wants to have fun and answers as he calls it. And I don't know if that means another treasure hunt or if that means a just a continuation of the storytelling. Who knows? I'm sure. I'm sure there's a lot of stories that are yet to be told. You know, I kind of mentioned like in addition to doing the treasure hunt and in addition to being an art gallery owner of like huge success, he was also a member of the CIA and like he went on spy missions to Russia and stuff. So like there's a lot of stories there to tell about this guy who was larger than life. I mean, if you think about P.T. Barnum and how much that guy captures the public's imagination, this guy's basically that, but like a little more modern and you know just as colorful a character. So there are a lot of stories I'm sure to be told there. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I think it's interesting. I I like that generation of people too. You know, he was born in 1930s, but he was the same age as my grandmother, who was born in 1930 as well. And you know, I really loved talking to my grandmother growing up. So these people, you know, they're from the World War II generation. They grew up teenagers during World War II. That's fascinating to me. And there's so much like left to be said, and yet they, you know, you won't hear from these guys. They're passing away um, rather quickly. So it's a generation gone, unfortunately. If they're the ones that are still with us, it won't be for very long. That's not bleak when you say it that way, but it's the truth. Kind of sucks. Hey Lorraine, how's it going? I don't know if he would do another treasure hunt since the family wanted to end the first one. Yeah, there were some crazy people. I probably should mention that. So when I joke about crazy people in the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt, I'm joking about the crazy people in the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt, not the crazy people. There were some crazy people in the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt as well. So when I say crazy, I mean like a little bit obsessed with it. People who went a little above and beyond trying to get that gold. Something out of like Raiders of the Lost Ark or something like that. Maybe took some chances they shouldn't have. Like walked out on a cliff maybe they shouldn't have been on. Took a few risks, things like that. That's what I call crazy, right? I'm not talking about the actual crazy people. There are some actual crazy people who broke into his house, who you know, um, threatened to kidnap his granddaughter. I think just crazy stuff. There was a guy who um, who thought that you know Forrest Fenn had like some private place where he was keeping people kidnapped, and it's just nuts. Some craziness and stuff. The problem I think what happens there is that when you have a treasure hunt, you can't really give any answers. You can't answer people's questions in a straightforward way. So these people they're already obsessed, but they get these ideas they rattle around in their head, um, and there's no outlet for it. There's nowhere to go, so it just kind of takes root and just kind of drives them crazy. I think that's what happened with these actual crazy people. I don't know. I'm not an expert on crazy people, but yeah, there were some crazy people. Yeah, nomadic, you're not crazy like those people were, but yeah, I get it. I mean, you're supposed to be a little crazy in a treasure hunt. It's totally fine, but you're not supposed to be crazy, crazy. Some of those crazy people are here on YouTube. Like you can go and watch their videos and stuff. Just do a search for Forrest Finn. You'll come across one of them. I'm sure. Totally crazy people. But there's a lot of normal people as well. A lot of normal people who just really enjoyed the thrill of the chase. That's the name of his book. It's all about passion and searching for a treasure, enjoying the outdoors, enjoying adventure, all the things that I grew up with as a kid. And that's the thing. Like I don't know, like different generations or whatever. My generation grew up with um, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I watched that a million times. We were the original Star Wars people. That was the space adventure. Um, we had Goonies. We had I don't know, just adventure. Like kids these days, I don't think they get the kind of adventure that we had growing up. I was a free range kid. I could come and go as I wanted to. Um, you don't find that nowadays. It's probably like a lost art, like the art of adventure. I don't know, adventuring. I don't know. I don't know how that stuff works anymore. Nomadic says, I went looking for a forest fence spot 5 times this year alone. So some people, I should mention, some people are still actively searching, um, like Nomadic, apparently. Um, they're searching for where that treasure used to be. Some folks out there think that there's another treasure to be found. They're still searching for that. People still chatting about it like all the time. I'm on a Discord with people who chat about it daily. It's like that's their hobby. That's what they do. Um, and they think there's still something to be found out there. They're going to find it, or they're looking for where. I mean, there's some controversial stuff there as well. So like, there are some pieces that were supposed to be in that treasure chest that were never accounted for. There's like an emerald ring, for example. People still looking for that emerald ring, because like nobody knows where that is. Forrest passed away and it was unaccounted for. Like the person who found the treasure chest, he says he didn't know. It doesn't know where it went. It wasn't in the chest when he found it. He says. Forrest Finn doesn't seem to know. The family doesn't seem to know. It's just one of those things. It might still be out there in the woods. Who knows? Who knows? That's the fun thing. It captures the imagination. It's all about that imagination. And it is kind of interesting what a Netflix documentary is going to say about it. So, like, again, the Netflix documentary might come out as early as March. Um, I'm kind of curious. So, like, again, the treasure hunt's been over for like 4 years now. It definitely had a subculture to it to begin with. It's not like it was mainstream. Um, I'm kind of curious what sort of audience that's going to draw back into the conversation. Like, will people watch the Netflix series and then come in and like hang out with us sometime just because they saw the Netflix series and saw that we were talking about it and wanted to chat it up? I don't know. Kind of interesting. Turquoise ring. He might have said turquoise ring. He definitely said emerald ring. Lorraine says, "What happened to your wood art? Did some find it?" So I haven't hidden the raccoons yet. I was planning on doing that like last year, like towards the end of last year, but then I forgot about it, and now it's too cold to hide it. It's still sitting in my living room, waiting to be hidden. The fox one, the original one that I did, the wood burning art, I hid that out in the woods, and somebody found it, and it was kind of cool. They sent me an email letting me know they found it, so that was pretty awesome. And that's what I'm kind of hoping happens with the second one. I just haven't hidden it yet, and I'm not really sure where to hide it. I kind of want to hide it where it's more of an effort than the first one. The first one was kind of just out in the open. I just wanted somebody to find it pretty easily. So I think for this the raccoons one, um, I'm gonna hide it a little bit more difficult. But honestly, it's been so cold that I've just been kind of waiting. I still have it. I'm still waiting to hide it, but I haven't done it yet. Ben and Ashley heard from friends that are in the know. Netflix may not be a thing. Uh, who knows? Who really knows? It may, it may not. You know, that's how these things go. So Netflix buys things and then drops them. I mean, they're famous for that. And they sometimes drop series that are popular. So like there might be a series out there that people are into. Like they saw season one and they're thinking, oh man, everybody's into this. There's definitely going to be a season two. They got this like weird AI algorithm and stuff that tells them what to do. I think. So yeah, it's entirely possible this documentary won't ever show. I think it will. My guess. Just because like for them to be talking about release date and stuff, that's something new. They weren't doing that before. So I do think that it is coming. That's my guess. When and so on, I have no idea. And to Ben and Ashley's point, it may not happen. That is totally true. That's how these things go sometimes. Hollywood. What can I say? But then you look at Netflix and some of the other lame stuff that they put up there. Why not, right? I mean, Forrest Gump was a pretty popular treasure hunt, and it did capture a lot of people. There were like hundreds of thousands of people participating. I don't see why it wouldn't be a thing. Has there been any chat about the latest lawsuit? So that's another thing that was interesting about the Forrest Finn treasure hunt, like lawsuits out the wazoo. Um, people who felt like they deserved to have found it, people who thought that somebody stole their solve, people who thought that just whatever crazy lawsuit you can think of. There were a bunch that went flying. To Pneumatic's point, there was a recent one that was in the New Mexico like docket, I guess, or whatever, like schedule or something. To answer your question, no, I haven't heard anything new about that. Like nothing at all. So I don't know if that. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It doesn't seem like a valid lawsuit. It just seems like somebody who's disgruntled who just wants to make some noise. Um, but no, I don't think anything's going to come from that. I haven't heard anything about it. The guy might watch my channel. I have no idea. Maybe he can speak to it. I think I saw him in here once. The guy who's doing the suing. I don't know. I don't think that lawsuit's going to go anywhere. It doesn't seem to have merit, and I don't think it's going to survive the process. Yeah, those look like eyelashes. Jeremy, you should find a geocache in your area and put it there. That way it's not out in the open, but geocache searches would find. That's a great idea. Yeah, there is a really good geocache spot nearby. That's a great idea. I like that. That's a great idea, kid. Thank you. Yeah, because then it'll get found. So I wouldn't put it at the geocache itself. I would put it in the general area so that people will go out there. Because I don't care when it's found. I think it's pretty much nature proof to some degree. Probably not forever, but at least for a few weeks. Um, yeah, I could put it out there where people naturally do geocaching, where they should walk by it, and then like leave it up to fate on whether or not they actually find it out there. Like I wouldn't put it at the actual geocache itself. I would put it in the vicinity. That's a great idea. I love that. Nomadic says, I would love to hear more from Justin and Cynthia. I'm pretty sure you'll hear from them in that documentary because that documentary is going to be basically all about them, probably. That's the theory at least is people going like, how are we doing with time? All right, so I feel like I need to get like some eyebrow in here. Um, I'm just going to kind of lightly draw this in and then kind of thicken up the eyebrow the more I feel comfortable with these things being here. I just want to kind of get the general gist of the eyebrow. So I suck at eyebrows. I end up drawing them either too thick. The problem is this is clearly like a woman's eye. I don't think there's a lot of guys who look like this. I don't know, maybe. Um, but women usually have like thinner eyebrows than us men. So gotta be a little bit careful here. I don't want this to like be too bushy or like too thin. Just kind of want to outline it at first, and then I'll come back with some thicker areas. I think this is one of the things. So like I would love to be a portrait artist, or at least part-time portrait artist. I won't ever give up my wildlife stuff, but um, I would like to be good at drawing people, and this is one of the things that I struggle with is like features like ears. I'm okay with noses, I think. Yeah, I struggle with noses too. Uh, but I definitely struggle with eyebrows. Those are tough for me. So I'm just going to kind of put these things in here the best I can. And I think what I'm going to do is actually leave it a little bit abstract. You're away from the eye itself, so I don't feel like it has to be too perfect. And then I'm also going to like not just leave it brown. I'm going to get some highlights in here. And even some flesh color, I think, like just like little things, little lines, random, and so on, just to kind of represent the eye. I don't know. Yeah, don't make her have a unibrow. No, I'm sorry for sure. Well, she's gonna have a unibrow just because there's only the one eye here. But yeah, that's funny you say that because yeah, she actually is gonna have a unibrow. The treasure sniffing dog, yeah. So like that's kind of fun. I love dogs. Dogs are great, and Justin Posey's dog is the best. So apparently he trained his dog to sniff out bronze. I don't know if that's a true story or it's just something he says, but I find that so fascinating that I think, yeah, why not? Why wouldn't dogs be able to sniff metals? I mean, that seems like a thing that could happen. So I think that's fun. That's a fun aspect to that story that he wanted his dog to be able to find the treasure chest, and the treasure chest is bronze. So he claims to have had a bronze sniffing dog, which I love. So obviously the eyebrow's not blue. I'm just kind of adding in color to work with here. Um, kind of just layering this up. A couple of different colors going. I like this picture because it is a it's a good combination of warm and cool colors, which, I like that kind of variety. I'm not saying it's perfect in doing that, but you do have that you have the cool blues and purples and stuff, but then you also have these warmer oranges and yellows. It's kind of hard to tell with this lighting, but there are some yellows in here as well, and they all kind of work together to create like an interesting. I think it's interesting kind of layout. So, oops. But yeah, I don't do a lot of portraits these days. I think I've kind of become a little gun shy when it comes to them. Sometimes they come out okay, and then like other times they just come out looking terrible, and it's like I'm like, well, let me practice this offline, like instead of doing it on the live stream where it's embarrassing in front of everybody to like have a bad picture. Um, I'm like, well, I'll practice this offline and then come back to it on the live stream when I feel more comfortable doing them. And then I just forgot. I never practice doing the portraits like I wanted to, and maybe I'll change that up this year. But for now, this is probably as close as I've been in a while to doing a portrait. I feel like if you expand this out, this would make a good portrait. But yeah, I don't. I do think I have a lot of room to grow there. Because like I mean, some of them they don't turn out that bad, but other ones they just don't look good at all. Oh yeah, Lorraine, I did hear about that. So that bronze sniffing dog that I mentioned, apparently he did pass away, so he's no longer with us. But it's such a cool story. Training a dog to sniff bronze, I think that's kind of cool. Our pets are our companions, and if that's his treasure hunting partner, I think that's really cool. I like Justin Posey. I know that like not everybody does. He's a controversial figure in the treasure hunt, but I like him. I think he's cool. He's on X and he follows me there sometimes and thumbs up my art. So like, how bad can he be, right? But no, I'm actually looking for. So like, even if the Netflix series was just Justin Posey and Cynthia Meacham running around looking for Forrest Finn's treasure, I think that's fine. I think that'll be fun. I know that's not what everybody wants, but I would dig it. I think that'd be great. Like I said, I'm just itching for any new content. I don't really care. Any new content. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing okay. I'm getting pretty close to being done here, I think. I think we've got a functioning eye that looks pretty cool, I think. You guys can be the judge. I think just a few more details in here, I think. So I do like to put things like, this little bit of color in here. So the thing about the eye is the eye is so fascinating to draw. Thank you, Lorraine. I appreciate that. The eye is so fascinating to draw for anybody. I don't care what level of artist you are, because it is a wet, reflective surface. So it's challenging. It's going to be a challenge no matter how great of an artist you are. You have to capture not only the details of the eye itself, but also the things in the environment. So like you have a 3D environment here where, you know, you're not just looking at the woman's face, you're actually looking through her window here in her eye, like that is a feature here. Is her window. So like you're not just looking at her face, you're looking through her window. I just think that's fascinating. Um, so it's very rare that you draw something that you're also drawing things behind you, right? So like you're looking at her face, you're picking up things that are behind you. I just find that fascinating. So that's a cool aspect of it, I think. A little bit of shadow on the outside here. I suck at drawing circles. I think that's circle enough. I'm going to hit this side over here with a little bit of gray just to make this kind of a little bit rounder. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to being done here, I think. Lorraine says similar to my color. So see, you didn't know it, but I'm actually drawing you, Lorraine. So I hope you enjoy your portrait here. um, I don't know if your skin color is slightly purple and with some hints of pink and whatever else is going on here, but if so, then this is a portrait of you. Congratulations. Yeah, I think that so like I did have some choices on like obviously I had some choices on what color to make the eye that I was going to tackle today, and you know you can't really go wrong there. All the colors look really good in eyes. I mean eyes are you know we every doesn't matter. All eyes are great. Um, I ended up choosing blue just because I thought that that would work well with the stuff around it. So. I wanted to again capture those warm and cool colors all in one place and stuff. So like when you're drawing a blue eye, that works really well for it. But you know, you probably pull that off with like a green eye as well. With the brown eye, brown's going to be a little bit warm anyway, just because it's brown. So that's not the kind of eye I wanted to draw today, but yeah, you can pull that off. Gonna get little white speckles over here in the corner. Gotta get all these like little wet pieces. 'Cause like that's all an eye is. It's a bunch of wet. A little highlight up there. Get, like, little random highlights. Why not, right? I think that's pretty good. Just you know, pastels. I love pastels. If there's any artists watching this channel, who are new to pastels, you can see how they layer and work really well together. So like I have this base blue that was dark, and then I added like a lighter blue above it, and then you know keep working it up, and now I've got some grays in here, and I'm introducing some whites. Um, you know, just doing all of that together ends up with this fascinating um, kind of a array of color. Let's see if I've got. I have to look here and see if I have them. Yeah, cool. So I wanted to. Yeah, all these pastels there. Oh no, the video screwed up. Oh, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can fix that. That's what I get for turning my head. Um, I was so close to being finished too. Okay. How do I fix this? Let's see if that comes back. Nope, that didn't come back. Uh, see if that switches. There you go. Oh, okay, that's working. Cool. All right, cool. Got that one working. So sorry about that. Hey, how's it going, man, MJ? Let's see. One of these things, days, I'll figure out how to do this a lot more smoothly. The problem is I start drinking my bourbon and then see. Oh, that's gonna be me really big. Oh, camo. Configure. I don't know how to fix that. Let me see if I can do it over here. I might have to replace this software that I use. Let me see. Nope, that didn't work. Let me add it again. Capture device. Okay. Oh, there we go. There we go. We're back in business. All right. So sorry about that. That's nuts. But I am figuring this out. I can get this returned at some point. But man, it just sucks that I have to do that because like otherwise this video is going really well. Okay. Anyway, what was I talking about? Um, the problem is I reached over to grab a new chart and like I almost forgot what I was going to do with this color. Anyway, back in business. Yeah, though what sucks is like the video is almost over anyway, and now I got to remember to remove that bit when I go to make a short and stuff. Anyway, looks like a Navajo blanket. Yeah, I mean it is kind of cool when it happens and stuff like that, but it's not intended. I wish that would not happen. Anyway, so like this really light blue here, I come back in here and you know get some real nice highlights in there. And then up here in the dark area, so like I like to put in like little specks and stuff just to kind of make that a little bit more visually interesting. I've got some purple in here. Ernest says, nice eye. Thanks. Thanks, Dad. I think this is looking pretty good. I kind of want to... I don't know why I have that in my hand. All right. I'm going to round this out just a little bit more. All right, I think I'm pretty happy with that. What else do I need to do? Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, for no reason at all, I like to add like little highlights of a different color just to kind of offset the blue. So like there's like a lot of blue here, a lot of like warm colors poking through, but most of it's cool. So I like to just put in like a little punch of color in some places. So like I'm adding this kind of like almost yellow orange just to kind of because like the eye does reflect all kinds of things. So who knows what this is reflecting? It could be reflecting a light, could be reflecting something in the environment, whatever. But just adding that little bit kind of like makes it visually interesting. Maybe add a little bit over here as well. So just adding a little punch of an accent color goes a long way, I think. And then, you can do other ones as well. So like maybe put a little pink over here for no reason whatsoever, just to kind of like punch it up a bit. And then, yeah, I think we're almost done here. If I can get through one video this year without the technical issues, that would be awesome. Yeah, what can I say? This is how you gain subscribers and then lose subscribers. Oh well. In case I haven't mentioned it lately, appreciate you guys hanging out with me. All right, so I'm going to add one more little speck here, just to kind of break into that, so there's not like a straight line. Yeah. All right, I'm happy with this. So at this point, I'm going to peel off this tape, just to kind of get that nice border. I like doing this with these pictures that I'm not filling up the entire page, just because I can end up with that nice sharp edge here. So I think that looks good. Unfortunately, some of my powder got past it, but I can clean that up with an eraser. All right, so pick that up. Got that nice clean edge there. I think that looks sharp. I'll come back here and get rid of some of these specks that kind of came through with like a nice little eraser or something like that. I don't want to rip the paper, so I have to be very careful. But this is what I love about pastels, except for the powder. You get this nice painterly look. I mean, honestly, like I've been sitting here drawing this with pastels, um, but that could have just as easily been painted. It looks like it's been painted. I love it. It's great style. Very happy with how this turned out. Very cool. All right. So if you guys are still with me, I think we're done. Um, a nice little eyeball there. What I like about this is that like it's got a lot of color there. I was searching for that kind of stuff. So a lot of times when I draw things, they're kind of super small. So this was a great opportunity to kind of zoom in on something. I should probably do this with like some of my pet portraits as well. Kind of zoom in on something and let that one feature, you know, be it an eye, be it a nose. Well, it'd be kind of weird just to draw a nose, but let that one thing just kind of like stand on its own. So like you can imagine this being part of a bigger portrait. That'd be great and stuff. I typically draw things so small. Like this paper here is 9 by 12. I usually draw things so that everything fits on that 9 by 12 paper. I really like zooming in on things and just like letting the eye just be its own thing. Um, so anyway, let's see. Kid says, "Awesome eye." Willy nilly says, "Ay Dios mío." Nomadic Madman says, "Nice." So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys had a good time. If you're not into like treasure hunts and forest fin and stuff like that, sorry for that segment of the chat. We were just hanging out chatting with some of my friends and stuff like that. Oh, sorry. I do want to kind of like reflect. So like the eyelash is kind of going across. I do kind of want that to be reflected as well. There you go. Cool. Perfect. All right. Again, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Tuesday night. I know that some of you guys got to get to work and school tomorrow, so I'll let you guys go. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. But yeah, if you're in the part of the country like I am, where you have a foot of snow out there, you know, be careful out there. Hopefully, you guys don't need anything. Hopefully, your power is still up. You know, I know that it hits some places hard. I've been enjoying it. I've been out playing in the snow and everything. Maybe I'll post a video about that. You know, even though it's not art related, it's still fun. You guys seem to enjoy community type things. But anyway, I hope you guys appreciate the eye. I will let you guys be. Thank you so much. Have a great one. Bye. Thanks.